voices inside my head. See voices behind the wall, uplifting the underdog. We fighting above the law.
Hey y'all. Hey Shama, AC. Hey Lil Wing. Dalen, JD, Boston. Let me go up here a little. Hey Benny B. Cotton Candy Boobs. Oh, I hope you feel better. Who else said they had a headache? Someone else in there said they had a headache too. Hope you guys feel better. Hey Kristen, Lex Luthor, Aaron, feel better. I don't think I can read that. Oh yeah, people will be crazy with, oh my god, the picture. Oh, keep deleting you. Wait, keep deleting me. He is going down. Oh, okay. Bye-bye. I don't know. Hey, Amber Lee, Northern Light, D's Everlasting, Alicia, Kiki, Ace, Wandering Hearts, Robin. I feel ya. I hate that. Hey, Darzilla. Sklam. Hey, Sharon Tuck. Sandy, Jackie Jude, Lori, Mary. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Oh, I can turn the camera on. Hello, Yinabug. Mahala. Verbal abuse. That's a good name for the YouTubes, right? Hey, C12, Leslie, Bambi, Shakes her fists, Minnesota girl. Good evening. Got a little rambling hick. Hey, Susie. Lipstick and pepper spray. Okay, so I got my Pineapple Express for tonight because I need it. What the F? Hey, PJ, Lindsay. Okay, so Benny has the link. He'll call in when he can. We had a conversation this afternoon. Oh, look at that. Like right on cue. What are you?
Hola.
I was about to vlog. I'm like, oh shit, we're about to get. Wasn't really Benny.
How you doing?
Oh, doing a little bit sore. We went on a 2-hour bike ride because he wants me to get used to the bike because we're gonna go the 15-hour bike ride to go meet my dad.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Where's your dad at?
In British Columbia, Vernon, British Columbia. So it's like 15 hours and 7 minutes. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm
Are you
not
gonna
telling
split
him.
it up and do it? Oh, what is he? Does he not watch YouTube?
No, he doesn't have internet. He doesn't even know how to work any of that shit unless like I'm doing it with him. That's why he hasn't been on it right now. He's actually in the middle of moving where he'll have Wi-Fi actually, so it'll be a lot better set up.
Oh,
but
okay.
no,
Cool.
no, he doesn't even know how to work the internet right
Nice.
now. So no, he has no idea. So he's expecting us in September, and we're popping up sometime like mid-July on him. But yeah, we're gonna split it up.
Cool.
We're gonna drive 7 hours to like Alberta somewhere, stay the night at a hotel, and then take off and do the other whatever 17 hours. Yeah, the other piece and get to my dad's. Yeah.
That's so cool. So I saw it's been 33 years.
33 years. I was 5.
Wow. That's so amazing. Mark's gonna document it, right?
Yeah, we're documenting everything because I've been wanting to slowly piece together something about my life, and then also my dad has it. But yeah, we're gonna be documenting it. I'm gonna go knock on his door because I don't even think he knows you can do this, but I almost sent him. He gave me his new address, and I go on the Google Maps and I find it and I see a picture of it and everything. I was gonna send it to him, like, is this your new place? But I didn't want to freak him out, right? Because he'd be like, what the fuck, Cher? My daughter's a gangster. So I didn't do that, but yeah, I just plan on going there. We're just gonna pop up on him because I know that he doesn't really do much, right? So he's home all the time with his cat. So pop up,
Cool.
knock on the door, and yes, it will be videoed because I was like, do I want to video that? But I think it'd be nice to have that moment, not just for me, but my
Yeah.
kids and their kids.
Absolutely.
So
Now, is he with? I mean, I don't know about his status. Can he go? Can he come to the States?
no,
Okay.
there's no way that
Okay.
will ever happen.
Okay, fair enough.
Nope.
That's very exciting, though. I mean, that's like that. I mean, hopefully he doesn't have any underlying like medical issues, and you don't give him a heart attack, man. Like that is.
I don't know.
Yeah, he'll see you and just like go into shock. Like that's a lifetime without seeing your person, and so that is just that's so beautiful. That's awesome.
I'm scared as shit though.
I would be too.
Like I don't know why, but I'm like nervous. I'm like, oh shit.
You guys, like, he's capable of, like, you can text and call right now, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, we text and call, but we don't video chat because his phone's not set up for that. It also costs because I'm on Minnesota phone still because me and my kids all got a phone, so I didn't want to switch that up. So yeah, I have my Minnesota line and then his is Canadian. So yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Long distance here, and everything's more expensive in Canada. Damn it.
How much is the gas here?
So I think it just went up today again. I want to say so like $2. I don't know what that is there in America.
Yeah. I think we're up to like, I think I paid $4.19 yesterday.
Yeah, so
$4.19.
That should be about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely on the hike, and then you do see just everything associated with the delivery on a truck. It's that price is going up too.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here not on the shelves because like the truckers aren't getting it here. Like it's a whole
I forgot about
mess
that
here. Yeah, because we're like, I think we're like about 20 minutes from the border where all the truckers come in and out of.
Oh.
So it's freaking terrible. Just terrible here. But yeah, the bike is going to be the cheapest route to do it that way because we were even looking at some plane tickets for a round trip. Y'all, it was like almost $700.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Those days of this $90 Spirit round trips are over for a while.
Yep. That's definitely, that's facts. Cause that was per person too. So it's crazy, but I mean, he's excited to get on a bike ride. It'll be my first time doing like a bike ride like that. Today I was on a motorcycle longer than I've ever been in my life. So
wow.
He's been like getting me ready. So next week he's gonna take me on like a 2-hour bike ride, and I have to wear a backpack. Like he's prepping me. He's making sure I'm comfortable to do this because round trip it's gonna be over 30 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a trek.
Yeah.
That's quite a trek. Yeah. Wow.
I gotta do it though. Gotta do it.
No, yeah. I mean, it'd be cool to take pack a tent and just ride till you ride, find a spot and just like camp and for the night. Like that would be cool too. But
we thought about that.
But being on that bike that long, you want to lay in a nice bed for the night, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking for him too, with his medical. It'd be really nice for him to be able to soak in a hot tub for a bit too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
We're just going to kind of wing it, and we have a destination and kind of wing it and get home.
Right. Get home safe.
Yeah, safe. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
From your lips to God's ears.
That's it. Safe.
Well, you know what everyone's been talking about. I don't even really know where to start. I know we talk privately, but I also don't want to hinder anything, but I definitely want to go over this phone call, but I've calmed myself down a little. I got my Pineapple Express here, so
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna keep
Choo
it cool.
choo.
Now I'm just gonna play part of the call, and then so I'll just play through it, and then we'll discuss. Does that sound good?
Do we like? So? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm here for it.
I don't know. Honestly, if you have other ideas, just tell me. I know you're probably sick of it today.
I actually, I had the call, and then I went over the call. Like, I received the call, and it was one of the things that it was one of the. It was a surreal moment because I had already gotten, I had two crazy back-to-back psychic calls where these ladies were like, one of them was like, if you don't believe me, I'll put a hex on you, kind of thing. And I'm like, oh gosh. And I'm cool with the psychic community, right? Who am I to judge someone's expression, the way they express themselves? But there was one particular, and then this call comes. And this call came, and I started asking for screenshots, and they sent me stuff, and it was like, so I went through the duration of listening to the call, and then I immediately called Penny from True Crime Commentary Fizzle, and briefly told her what was going on with the call. So I immediately called the FBI. I stepped right over the TVI, Hawkins County. I called the FBI, and I got into it with the FBI lady. She I would tell her something, and then a couple of sentences later, she would ask me something. I'm like, madam, I just told you that. I was like, and I asked her, I was like, can I just be switched to a different operator? And she got very offended. She took the information, and then she actually hung up on us.
Oh, shit.
Yes. And I felt like what I told Fizzle was like, I something to the effect like, I don't feel like that lady's going to report that. So what I did was we immediately turned around and called TBI. And
good call. Yeah,
we gave it to them. I gave them the ideal of it. I told them, I sort of compressed it down and gave them the gist of it, and was like, and I have the conversation recorded. If you give me somewhere to attach it to, I can send it now. She didn't even offer me anywhere to send it to, and she says, well, I'll take your number down. If they need to contact you about it, they just will. So, and it's a whole nother, how I felt about the call doesn't have anything to do with reporting it or not. I will say that I didn't report it to Hawkins County. I reported it to the FBI and the TBI.
Everyone.
So, yeah. So, and I did it with,
everyone coming in
about 2 hours. So, at that time, Shannon, and I want to preface it by saying, I have a lot of love for Shannon. I don't know what's going on with her in her personal life or what have you, but Shannon and I, as I will always remember my experience on the Hill, every frame of it will have Shannon's face in it. So I don't hate that woman. I am upset about what happened. So we were in the context of a conversation, and I let her listen to the call, or So let her. I haven't went back and actually looked. I either sent her the call or we listened to the call. Pretty sure we listened to the call. Anyway, it went. At that time, she was still actively speaking with not so much Candace, but Candace every day, multiple times a day. So I let her listen to the call, and we just kind of went from there. Well, then Shannon and I had a disagreement on a few different situations, or dynamics of a situation rather, and she sort of adhered to the voices behind the shit channel.
Yeah.
And which is Bob and Lori from Truth Be Told, or it was formerly Ion Entertainment.
Okay.
Yeah, the one that AB was always into it with them people. So I don't deal with those people. Like, you know, come to find out they've been calling the CPS and all that regular real life jazz. And like it's, you know, so Shannon sent me, or I got a text kite. It got kited to me through somebody else because she didn't have a way to contact me. I blocked her where she couldn't reach me or any of that. So I get the kite, and it says, you know, Bob and Lori did this and this and this and this. And I was like, okay, something's getting ready to fire her off.
Oh, shit.
Thank
you,
know,
Keyzz.
I knew she was trying to get in front of something. And then it was about eight hours later, and Adrian from Krama Mama calls me, and she's like, you know, that call we all listened to, like it's online right now. And I was just like, what? And she's like, I was still thinking about the Brad 423 chase stuff. And I'm like, well, no, that's, you know, and so then she kind of got me wrangled in, and I just was in shock about it. I was like, well, hold on, that call, we unaccredited it. It's not good. It's not any good. Like, there was a second call where information was changed between the alleged social worker and the individual that was the outlet of the information originally. Like, that dynamic changed, and then it was some name changes, and I was like, okay, well, with the changes that, you know, the pieces really don't fit together now. Like, they didn't fit together before, but there were like some, you know, there was also a splash of some Donna Serafino in there. There was some talk of the Holston River. There was some talk of, you know, like this, I think it was the steam engine. Like, I literally have only listened to the thing twice. It was when I took the call, and then one time with me, Jenny from Gavel Geeks, Adrian from Krama Mama, Chasing Truth, and Fizzle. We all listened to it, and we broke it down for like 3 or 4 hours, went through and like researched the stuff and talked about the people, and like basically got it boiled down to, we were like, yeah, like it's reported. And I told everyone else, like, as if you have an outlet to report it, feel free to record what we have going on here and report it yourself. There was 5 people in that group, and to my knowledge, no one recorded it. It was just only the recording I had. So, and you see that, like, you see that reflection in Chasing Truth's community section. She says, I was told basically to like listen to it, keep quiet, and report it. And that's what, you know, that's what she did, or that, you know, that's what she said she did. So the content in the call doesn't fit anything that we know about in terms of dogs being there, biological fluids.
Right.
Just like it doesn't work. It doesn't, like you know what? I think and I love you. I think I probably would take a pass on listening to the call again. I just, like, it's,
yeah, a lot of people are saying don't play it again. So if I'm guessing everyone's heard it. I just wanted to play it so I could put my 2 cents on it. But I mean, I remember perfectly what's said. I can still make my statements without playing it. So if y'all feel better without playing it, I don't need to replay it. I'm certain 99% of y'all have already heard it multiple times today. So I'm fine with not playing it.
You know, I don't, you know, this is the thing, like in the subsequent call, which no one has heard, like the situation the situation with Summer, it alters some, and it alters in a way where you're like, man, come on, man. And and I don't know about for you, Cher, but I can say as a creator, like officially, I've had like 5 crazy calls, kind of like that. Like,
Oh,
if people, yeah, like if people heard the calls that people just demand, you know, like they'll even cash
or
app you, Benny,
emails, or
yeah,
Facebook messages. Oh, yeah.
yeah. They'll cash app you, say, I demand you look at the email. You go look at the
Yes.
email, and well, I demand you call me. Next thing you do,
Yeah.
you call them, and they've got a story for you. And you're like, okay. And the thing is that I still, to this day, it doesn't matter if I feel like it's legitimate or not. Like, as long as it doesn't, you know, contain Will Smith in a spaceship, like I'm probably gonna report it.
Yeah.
Right.
So let me ask you, did you feel right away? Because to me, okay, let me say my feelings. I know we talked privately, but I know a lot of people are saying, I didn't hear the call.
Yeah.
You guys can find it yourselves. There is a call. Look it up. It's all over the YouTube streets. So if you haven't heard it yet, you probably will by morning. But it seems that most of the people are more comfortable if I don't replay that. So I'm fine with that, because my thing is, you know what? No, that's the right thing to do. Just in case. I just
wasn't trying to be disrespectful.
No,
I told myself, like, with everyone trying to spin it for a view and a buck, like, and I'm not like, I'm here with you. I'm not saying that's what you doing.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's a lot of people out there spinning it for a view and an AdSense buck. And like I told everyone, I was like, I'm not even gonna play it. Like, of all the people who should be playing it, it's my voice on it, and I'm not gonna play it. Like, I don't get down like that. Like,
so I'll just say what I didn't like is that, let's say this is another thing. Oh, the social worker is dating this person's friend or whatever for the youngest of the Wells boys.
Correct.
Now, and then they're like, but we can't put her information out there because she could go to prison for this. You're absolutely right. So what I want to say to you is, it's not that damn difficult to find out if this is true, which I was like, okay, so I'm not going to lie. Some of it sounded like it could match the narrative. A lot of us think, like, one of multiple narratives, though, right?
Sure. Absolutely.
But this brings me back to
can I pause you 1 second?
Yeah.
Like, this call came approximate in a window of 2 to 4 days after all of
1 year.
No, I mean, all of this came out, yes, at 1 year, but I mean, the call originally came in right after I spoke about the inventory list and the clothing that was involved in the inventory list. The call came 2 to 4 days after that. So at that point, when I looked back at it retrospectively, I could see how they cherry picked all the things together. Like, you know, do I think that I think that they were probably told a story and they believed it. They were very persistent, and they were very, I think
they wanted YouTube to run with it, honestly, and because to discredit, because that's the whole thing. And Don has said it a bunch of times, to discredit the YouTubers. At the same time, we were planned to be used in this, whatever this is.
Absolutely.
And so my point is, it's not that difficult to find out who's working on what kid's case. There's only a select number of people. And if you don't think with people like the FBI, the TBI, and these agencies that we're supposed to have our faith and trust in, aren't going to find out who that person is, the social worker talking, like, that doesn't even make sense. Sure. She's so worried she can go to prison. Well, guess what? There's only a certain amount of people in the social work place in that area, and definitely narrows it down when you are working on a certain child's case, that they're actually putting out a specific child that they have the case files on and this and that for. So that narrows it down, and this woman could lose her career and go to prison.
Well, you know, what we did was we took the lady's name. I told them, they gave me the initial story, and I was like, okay, yeah. And then I text them back, and but the story I talked to him 4 or 5 times. The story didn't have the names in it. And I was like, yeah, I understand. But I was like, you're going to have to tighten that up. Like, it just sounded like a daydream to me before that. It was like, but it didn't go into depth. It was just like, well, yeah, I talked to this guy who talked to a social worker. You probably want to hear this. And I was like, okay, yeah. That's as deep as it ever went. Once they finally got me on the horn, they laid all that stuff out. And I was like, well, they lost me because this is the deal. The boys, we know, are at a facility that's about 7 to 8 hours away west. This lady doesn't live 7 or 8 hours away where the boys were at. No. She lives somewhere much, 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 much closer.
Yeah.
So it's like you're looking at this, and this is already after I reported it. I'm looking at it, trying to poke holes in it, trying to make it not real. I'm trying to discredit it. And that's what helped me initially discredit it. It was like, okay, well, she said that this lady cheated with this guy. Or at first she said that the guy in the picture was the guy. And then I'm looking and I'm like, that's not him. Then it changed to that she cheated with that guy. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a change, whatever. And I didn't, but I identified, and I didn't even call him out. I just was like, okay, yeah. Way out there. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, now, when we got privately, I'm like, there's no way that's the lady. She's not commuting, 8 hours away to go to work every day. This lady lives close in that area, within the area. I'll say that. So it just didn't make any sense. You know what I mean? And the 2 people that give me the information initially, they didn't want to report it because they had trouble in the past, and they didn't want to be targeted for having turned the information in. So, but
hold on, let me just interrupt with that, because my mind is automatically thinking, but they went to YouTuber, like, you know what I mean? But they went to YouTubers.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, right. I mean, there isn't a yeah.
This is why, you guys, I'm so jaded and I'm such a bitch. Cher's the bitch around these YouTube streets. She doesn't believe anything without documentation. Doesn't believe Jose died. Still no documentation of that. I stand by that. I'm still getting mad hate. Don't give a damn. But I mean, for real, let's think about this. Oh, I don't want this all out there, or this and that, or I'm afraid to do this and report it, but it's okay to throw it all over social media for it to get, that is to add to the distractions, guys, and definitely to discredit. Yeah. It was said automatically. One of the first times Donald spoke was, I will make sure, he knew about trying to discredit channels, which in my mind, if you've never been on the YouTubes before, or not really familiar with social media, we're all supposed to believe, how do the words Don say, I'm going to do everything in my power to discredit your podcast and your channel? For him to say those words to me,
your kid is missing. Why are you going to spend time doing all of that when you could spend that time looking for your kids, sir?
Yeah. Yeah. You want to talk about his bullshit statement?
Now, I'll tell you, I've been taking some forensic training, we'll call it that, and it's through one of CM's friends. He offers some modules, and so we purchased the membership, and in that, there's a whole series about analyzing written statement, actually, with pen or pencil written statement. And there's some interesting dynamics to Don's statement that he's written. It does differ a little bit from other handwriting that we've seen.
Yeah, I was trying to look. I got to go still through, but I started looking today. But I have something Don wrote, and I'm trying to find that. And I'm like, that's not Don's writing, or I don't even think he signed it. That's not his signature either.
Yeah, I'm not, I couldn't speak to that. I don't know. I couldn't say that all the way, but what I could say is that, so they're the spacing in your handwriting
Yeah, they're
It
on
means
purpose trying to
something.
make it look fucked up too, by the way. They're on purpose making it look like fucked up writing. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah. I mean,
crazy.
but what I can tell you is that the spacing in his writing, it is different than other versions of his handwriting. And when you know about statement analysis, like punctuation, dropping of pronouns,
We were going
actually,
through
like,
that last night. We were comparing. I was
yeah,
comparing all the T's on everybody's notes and the H's and the S's. I was like, you guys, look at this. It's not the same writing.
it's
It's not.
very, and it's contradictory in itself in the idea that he's like, well, I thought YouTube was going to be a powerful tool or useful tool,
Yeah.
but and then he goes on to say, and it still could
It
be.
still could be. Okay.
Yeah.
But
You're
fuck
right, it
everybody.
still could be.
YouTube ruined it. It's probably a YouTuber that came and took Summer.
I don't even know.
Yes, he
It's
gave it to
beyond.
TBI and FBI, TBI.
I went to FBI
everybody.
first.
Yeah, FBI, TBI. So
Yeah.
don't
So,
you guys
yeah, I
worry
mean,
about that.
yeah, no, like I have a long standing situationship calling TBI. Like anything that I get
Same.
yeah, like I'd rather get caught calling them and reporting it than not.
Yeah.
They get caught not reporting it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's their job to filter out what's something or what's not. If they want to hate us for turning in what we think is important, they can go ahead and hate us and bash us.
That's
but
it.
rather be safe
That's
than
it.
sorry.
And
Hey,
and I want to
Squids.
speak. Hey, Squids. I want to speak on like what I sort of deduced myself is that you have many people, like, they still solicit help from the public. You have many people that still are actively they're still actively generating materials and trying to turn it in. And in my opinion, I mean, when they don't call back and they don't seem interested in these materials, that says a lot. I mean, it says you got to make it. It's the shell of it. They have to make it look like they're still asking for help and this and this and this. But in my opinion, like, I feel like they stopped actually taking tips a long time ago.
Yeah. And they definitely stopped searching and has stopped people from searching.
I mean, you have to ask yourself, like, you have to be able to generate some sort of intel. And in this case, at this stage in the game, is probably digital forensics that is pointing people, like the last search with the private eyes. Like, something had to have pointed them there to that area, right?
Yeah.
Like, what was it? What could it have been? Because this is the thing. It wasn't a search that was by law enforcement, right? Or was it? It was a private investigator.
It was a private investigator search. Yep.
So what does that mean? Does that mean they had information that they didn't turn into the police? Or was it a clandestine search? Like, actually, what was going on with that? Like, was it just a photo op? It could have been a photo op. I don't know. Right? But they had a lot of people out there. They had their fancy backpacks on. Like, what were they doing? And they weren't police. They were like friends of Chris and Trudy's or whatever. Right? But again, like, what intel put you in that spot? Because it looks cute to the general public that aren't critical thinkers. When they see you pop up on the side of the road doing some searching, it's awesome. But let me ask you, what led you to go to that spot? Something did. You didn't just say, there, we're going to go. That's not what you did. Something led you there. So what led the PIs there that didn't also, like, what led the PIs there that didn't lead the police there first? That should have went straight to the police. If the PIs feel it worthy enough for them to go search, why aren't the police there doing it?
Yes. Or why are they allowing then? They won't let EquiSearch come back from what I heard, or kind of push that off. But why are they going to allow people who I guess are going to sign? They've been doing it for over a year now for free, but now they want the wells to sign and pay them. I don't know where they're getting that money from, but that's a whole nother topic. and do a
they want
search.
them to. They want the Wells to pay them.
Yep, that's what they said. That they've been doing everything pro bono for the past year, but they need Don and Candace to sign a contract, and when they sign that contract, they will have to charge Don and Candace. It's all in the news. It's on WJHL and everything. They want to start charging Don and Candace now, because they've done a year pro bono, and of course they said their time and efforts. They need to. Yes. Oh yes, you didn't hear that? Yes,
No.
they said that the Wells are going to be signing a contract with him, and when they sign the contract, they have to pay. Yes, they said that. Let me.
Yeah, but where are they going to get, like, Don's?
That's what I'm saying. I have no idea.
Don's, like, people are like, Don's getting ready to get out of jail. He might be, but he's going to get out of jail. He's not even going to walk a 1 minute free on the street. He's going to stay in the back of the jail. They're going to pull up with a van, pick him up, and take him to a rehab for the last 6 months. You got 11 months, 29 days. Rehab was a part of that. So he's only doing 6 months in jail. Then he's going to the rehab for another 5 months and 29 days or whatever, right? He's going to a rehab. Or what they said was, if he doesn't go to a rehab, he's spending the whole 11 months and 29 days in the slammer. It's his choice.
I'm trying to find that article where the dude did an interview with, I think, WJHL. I don't know if he said on the actual interview that we're going to charge him, but the article.
I didn't look at it or read it. I just saw that it existed with his face, and I was like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
He had the backpack on, and he's walking over the little dip in the hill, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah. Trying to make a name for themselves now. But yeah, that's exactly what he said. He said, we've been doing it pro bono for a year. And
you know what's crazy, Cher? They know I know what they know.
I've said this and people make fun of me. I'm like, they know that I know that they know. Like,
yeah, like they know I know everything they're doing. They know I know everything. Like, I was in that group. Mm-hmm. I still get everything that's in that group. And they don't realize, like, they probably do now. But like they got a jacked up group. They think it's airtight, and it is not airtight.
No. Nope, I've talked to one of those people who straight up said that they want to be able to sell Candace's story one day. So
absolutely,
have fun with that shit, y'all. And I don't know who's going to buy it at that point. It's ridiculous.
I do not consent to being in that story at all.
Mm-mm. Do you agree? So I'm going to say something. I don't think I've ever said this before, but a lot of people know we questioned Don Wells about owing for the drug money.
Yeah.
Now, it's my opinion that is the one time that I've actually seen these agencies do something.
Yeah.
They were following him. They took that tip. In fact, Don even called me pissed. You called TBI. Oh my God, how could you do that? He freaked out on me for reporting that. And I'm like, Don, we just had a conversation about large amounts of money and drugs. Like, by law, I have to call TBI. I'm not doing prison time for you, Don.
I reported him as well. Like, but I reported him while I was standing on his property.
Yeah.
Like that's like, let me tell the story real quick. Like, the police come.
Thank you, all that glitters.
Because they called for the police because the trespassers, right? The protesters, MGL and them.
Mm-hmm,
so the police, they rush up there, and when they jump out of the vehicle, I'm watching the police treat the Wells like shit. And I'm like, whoa. And the feeling I immediately got was they think they know what happened. They just can't prove it.
Yeah.
And there was like, he was tearing Candace and Candace up. And he looked at me, and there was a lull in the conversation. I just kind of nodded my head at him, like to the side, like, come here. And he came over, and I told him the story about the cocaine. And this was Lieutenant Macklin of Hawkins County.
Shit.
He's Hawkins County. He had a shirt on, some special.
Thank you, Jaded.
It was special operations or something. Anyhow, I told him, and he was like, yes, we've been told that by the family one other time. And he was a very decent man. He was very nice to me. He did not treat me like shit. He left from me, went back over to the Wells, and started treating him like crap again.
Damn. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. I've been repeating myself for over a year now, guys. I say that there's no way you spend. Let's be fair. I'll try to be fair here. 30 minutes around the Wells, Blythe, Harrer crowd, those people, and you don't walk away or hang up a video call. You just don't walk away from that thinking they did nothing.
Correct.
You don't.
Correct.
And so that's why I don't like the people that surround them, because I'm like, there's no way you don't know that they've done something, or that they at least know the person who did something. But
they all know what they're doing too, Cher. All of them know what
That's
they're doing. They
drives me
all know how to work the
crazy.
social media, the media
Like
itself.
they've done
like
it
they do.
before. BK and Cher, please see my message. Where is your message? I'll never forget the first time Benny said that about the way police treated them. Says a lot, in my opinion. Also, police never care about druggies, even if you're clean. Yeah, that's there's truth to that. Okay, not so dumb blonde. Okay, oh, is it this one? Who's Cheshire and why is she on Skern's live? Okay, well, we don't care why who's on somebody else. Like, I don't care. I'm not sure why that's a question. If you have any, like, useful questions that you would like to ask Benny or myself about anything to do with anything, Wells, or any other case that you can do that. I don't understand that question. Sorry. I can't believe there are people who support the Wells. I don't understand it either. And I said that to Benny today when we were talking. I was like, I just don't understand why we have these puppet strings being pulled by people. And he what'd you say?
You tell them.
Cash App gang gang.
Gang gang.
And that's true. How do you
what it
feel
is.
about
That's what it
knowing
is.
that law enforcement is now saying they have nothing to do with Summer's reward fund, by the way, and that it's all on Churchill Rescue Squad, that law enforcement has nothing to do with that? But Ronnie Lawson is supposedly the one who sought out Churchill Rescue Squad and went through them. What do you think about that?
I feel like it's the passing of the buck. And I think it's, like they even labeled Churchill Rescue, like they labeled that a high risk foundation. Like it's in the high risk status. The woman took the money. And that was resolved, but it was resolved at a misdemeanor level. And that lady took 70,000 and some change. Like 72,000 or like close to 72,000.
Was it that much? See, I thought it was half of that, but either way, that is bad.
It came from two places though. Like she wiped them out, and it was a misdemeanor embezzlement, which to me is like absolutely insane. If I steal $5 from 7-Eleven, I'm going to get 10 years in prison. But this woman stole, close to $70-some thousand, and you got a slap on the wrist. And got whatever she paid for it with.
Yeah, we remember that. I'm sure Benny remembers that too. Yeah, I've got that.
His last pic together.
Yeah, he told me that was the last picture.
And you know what? Let me tell you what, like that picture. Well, no, wait, that's not the one. There was one with Don and Candace in Summer all together, and Don looked like he was a corpse. He looked like he was dead. Do you remember that picture?
Yes. Yeah, he's like got his arms around
sunken in. Yes, and I'm like, who is that guy? And it was Don. I was like,
yeah.
Holy cow! What was he doing to himself to look like that?
Yeah.
Like way out there. Way out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did look sickly. He did, yeah.
He looked sickly as hell, like he had cancer or something. I don't even know. Like he looked like he was 70 years old. I'll tell you that. Whoa. What was your feel? I was ill the whole time. Everything was a lie. Everything was nasty, and Like more than anything, it was like I got there and I felt like I had been lied to by them people the whole time because I saw the way the police treated them. I was like, damn.
Hmm.
And I rode with that from January till February when the situations with the phone and the backup with Tim happened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I went from this. I went from the middle of December knowing what the police feel, and I could see it. It's not like I was thinking, well, I think Hawkins County probably thinks. I saw what they think and how they treat them. They did not treat them, folks, like you would expected them to get out and, like, oh my gosh, Mr. and Mrs. Wells, like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry we didn't keep these people away from you in the first place. Nothing like that. They're like, no, we're not doing none of this. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. You be quiet. You be quiet. I mean, it was like that. And I'm like, whoa, holy cow. This is insane.
Right.
And so I brought that, I had that feeling on my heart coming back. And then in February, after he went to jail, that's when, Chris and Trudy came, they came to me and they're like, you've jeopardized this case by accessing the cameras and downloading the phone. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I called Tim and I'm like, look at this text I just sent you. And he looks at it and I'm like, what is he saying to me? Like, he's saying I looked at some phones and looked at some cameras. And then Tim was like, oh, okay, well, let me tell you. And that's when I found out all the stuff that Tim had been doing on the sly. And I was like, look, Tim, you got to turn that up. You got to turn the backup in right now. Like, get in your car with the computer and take it straight to the police right now. And he's like, no, well, Penny, if they want it and they ask me for it, I'll take it to them. And I'm like, no, sir. No. And it was the same thing with Candace. So I called Candace and I'm like, Candace, I need you to take that phone in. And she's like, well, if they want it, they can have it. And I'm like, that's not what I'm saying, Candace. I'm saying you need to take the phone up there because I just had the conversation with Tim about the backup of the phone and he doesn't want to take it up there either. And in fact, I talked Tim into a corner where I'm like, Tim, you pardon my French. I'm like, you fucked up, right? Like, you got that man's whole phone on your computer and he's got crack dealers, he's got hookers, he's got all them people in them hills out there. All that information from them people is in his phone. And now that is on your computer, sir. And he's like, well, what do I do? I was like, you can't do anything. Try to delete it and it's going to look even worse for you. Like, you're stuck with it. So of course, what did I do? I called the FBI on Tim. I called the TBI on Tim. And let me tell you this right now. I turned in the idea that Don's phone needed to be looked at and there was some silly stuff going on with the phone. Just a few days later, Ronnie Lawson said they're not being cooperative. Just a few days after that, Candace, she comes out and says that the phones are with the uppers now. All that happened after I reported the ideal that Don's phone, there's some funny jazz going on with it. I know they came and talked to the people about them phones. I know they did. And I think that's, in my opinion, what they were uncooperative about was giving up that information.
Because by the time they would get a warrant to get them, everything could have been, especially like on burner phones. Yeah, it's a bigger game with that, right? And 707, I can see you saying, do you see my question? But no, I scrolled all the way up as far as I can go, and I don't see you ask a question.
Candace told, now whether or not it's true, Candace told Ernie so Ernie gave her a phone and she had Don's iPhone. She said both of those phones been thrown in the water.
Yes.
And so when I found out that the phone was in the water, I raised hell again. Because now and people are like, Benny, you're so silly. They can still get in. Now, they can get in the phone. Yes, they can get to the service portion of the phone, which is the text and which is the telephone calls. These people are doing all this weird ass cornbread mafia stuff through Facebook Messenger, Instagram, Snapchat. T-Mobile isn't going to tell you what they're doing in their Facebook. You got to ask Facebook to let you get in and get in their Facebook. Like, you can give a warrant. You can get a warrant for the logins for Facebook. Now, if you don't, if you don't submit the logins, Now you're in contempt, right?
Mm.
You're being uncooperative at that point, right? I mean, it in the eyes of the law. If they ask you to sit down and interview with them, and you invoke, your right to remain silent, it's your right to be silent. But at the same time, it's dual edged because your right to be silent also equates to being uncooperative.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what it is.
What do you make of this? Now, I have two others. I'm not sure why they're not showing up, but I talked to Don on two other accounts too. But I just want to say this because people are dragging me. Of course, Don has Facebook and social media in jail. Cher, come on. Listen, he's not supposed to. I don't know if you can see that, but I check this every day. And Don Wells, all of his accounts are active every day. They are offline sometimes, but they are active almost all the time. But I've seen them offline just a couple times.
Now,
And
so what the issue is with that?
hold on, let me get my thought out because I know
Okay.
I'll forget it.
Okay.
If he had access to be on Facebook and shit, why did we not have him making a statement on June 15th? Just think about that, because he could have done that then. He has ways to do that, right? And he didn't do that. So anyways,
bingo.
Go ahead, Benny.
That right, bingo. That's it. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's not programmed up in a way
Justin.
where he can't get access. He could be programmed in a way where he's in some program in the jail that he could have access to Facebook. It happens, right? Every jail and penitentiary is different, but
you need money on your books for that.
Right. I'm guessing not. So what you're looking at is a scenario where Candace is plugged in to Donald's Facebook.
Yeah. Kind of what
That's
I figured.
her on his Facebook. So now when you put that into play with the movements and stuff on the Hill, if back in the gap on the 15th of 2021 when she went missing, if Candace was plugged into, I mean, she could have had his phone. She could have been plugged into this. She could have been plugged into that. Like,
yeah,
she essentially is making it look like Donald Wells either has access in the jail or is out of jail running around with the phone. But we know that's not the case, right? So the perception of her being logged into his accounts it plays hell for him. Like, it actually does, because if she's got some funny business going on the 15th and Donald some kind of way doesn't know, let me tell you what, if Candace is plugged into some of his accounts on some phones around yonder, it's going to make it look like Donald Wells is doing something different on a phone that he's not supposed to be doing, or that he shouldn't have been doing, right?
Yeah. To keep passing the buck. Hey, Gonzo, thank you. Hey, Zena.
Gonzo.
Real Sunflower. Hey, everyone coming in. Sorry, I'm not trying to be rude or not say hi. I just like when we're on like a roll talking, I don't like to interrupt, especially Benny, because he's got a wealth of knowledge, right? And then if I don't get my thoughts out, I forget them because of Pineapple Express.
Same thing.
Never late, chapstick. Better late than never. That's why I always say, hey, fizzle.
There is an interesting dynamic with, with the leaving the Hill the second time. When confronted about that, as deep as Candace would go, publicly or privately, sort of her built-in response to that is, hey, Candace, they said you left the Hill twice. She'll say, well, that's what they say. That's what they say. It's like, she doesn't even refute that, because I'm guessing she thinks, I don't even know. Like, she doesn't say, no, I didn't leave twice. She says, that's what they say. And then there's no damn explanation. Like, it's like, that's what they say. And then moving on. Not even a speck of speculation or trying to say, like, she won't even lie about it. She won't even try to lie her way out of leaving the Hill twice, because she knows she left the Hill twice.
Oh my gosh, I just had a thought. Okay, now if we believe the horse, why am I blanking right now? The horse pond, yes, employee said Candace's truck was parked there all day. Now, wait a minute. Okay, so what if they parked there drove in something else, right? I'm sure somebody has already come on to this, but I'm just like thinking as we're talking, and left the car parked there at the water hole for the day, but was driving in a different vehicle. And then she left a second time because she had to fucking pick up her truck that was parked at the horse pond the whole entire time. Sometime between
I mean, so what
2:30
was
and
Grant?
6:30.
Was Grandis at the hospital that whole time that the truck was parked there? Where was Grandis at? Was she with them or was she somewhere else?
By law, are we allowed to know if Grandis even went to the ER? Like by law, with all of the public health
Can
laws,
I tell you something?
Like, is law enforcement allowed to know that part without warrants or something?
I believe so, but I can tell you that I can tell you this. When this is strange as hell. When Shannon S went back to Tennessee in January, I guess it was. Actually, she got there and on the table was a bottle of hydrocodone from the 15th of June, 2021.
Okay.
Yeah. She did actually go to the hospital that day and she did actually get opioids. She said she got a cortisone shot or whatever and or steroid shot and some anti-inflammatories. Like, if you're to believe what Shannon S said, she said she's seen a pill bottle there with opioids on the 15th of June.
Huh. Yeah. Well, shit. Law enforcement, but not a SIPA law. Okay, so they would have to tell law enforcement. Yeah, I mean, we don't need to know, but as long, but yeah. And does Benny know if Ellie took the swimsuit Summer was wearing that day?
I don't know. I know that they took subsequent things, like they came. The inventory list that I was able to obtain, but they came back subsequent days, and there were other receipts for other things as well. So I don't know. I mean, it's a good. I would say with the rumor of SA, it probably isn't a bad place to start if the bathing suit was available to be analyzed and examined.
Yeah. I don't think there was ever a bathing suit, but that's just my personal opinion, guys. And yes, I do. April B, yes, I do. Benny, do you feel the cameras are being set up in the children's rooms, i.e. Jim Blow's daughter Tiffany's picture? Oh, yuck.
I'd rather not speak on that one over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Benny, do you really think someone gave Rev Donna info about cases for her readings? Yeah, that's possible, GP. We're not going to get into Reverend Donna tonight.
Yeah, I couldn't say.
That's always possible.
I mean, people with less influence than Donna, and I'm not saying that's what Donna has done, but what I'm saying is when you hear things on the news that you probably know you shouldn't hear, those are police leaks. Like, reporters pay detectives for information and stuff. So it's really not uncommon to get a leak in that way.
Messaging Don right now. I said, how's jail? Okay, so we'll see if it gets read. I feel like if it was Candace, though, she would have blocked me, right? Because that's what she likes to do to me. Or she wouldn't, because it would be a show. Like, I don't know. But, I mean, Candace likes to go through and delete messages and then block. Just because the bottle says the 15th don't mean Grandis went to the ER that day. Could have been the 14th. No.
I didn't see the bottle. That's just what Shannon is saying. Now, if that's legitimate, then, that fits, that puts her at the hospital at some time and actually somewhere where she got the prescription filled on that day. I mean, you could get your prescription on the 15th. If you don't make it until the next day, it doesn't still read the 15th. It's going to read the 16th. So yeah, she made it somewhere, allegedly, if you believe Shannon. She made it somewhere to get it filled. So
here's the thing, because I know how this works. We've all had these conversations before. But so I think what they're saying, well, what if she got it? So I don't know, like maybe she already had a prescription and got a refill. But my thing is, she doesn't live in Tennessee full time. And if she has these problems and she's getting those types of meds in Wisconsin, like, hello, I lived actually right across the border from where Candace is, which is insane to me. So people start your rumors. I've probably driven by Candace's house a million times. But anyway, her doctor would have to cut her off in Wisconsin. They are strict as shit. And I'm not sure about, I consider Minnesota and Wisconsin one. I know, don't come for me, cheeseheads, but I mean, the borders are like, but that would fuck up her prescription if she was getting one in Wisconsin. Now, if she needs them terribly that bad in Tennessee, I believe she probably needs them in Wisconsin as well. And doctors are very much a no-no on prescribing narcotics through different states at different doctors at different pharmacies now. They don't really do that. So that makes me kind of...
Well, I mean, her insurance is through her disability or whatever is through Wisconsin. And so her pain management doc is there in Wisconsin, but pardon me. It seems it's a strange dynamic that she only has to go back to her pain doctor twice a year. Like or whatever. Like that seems like large gaps in between the times, which would insinuate you're getting 6 months of pills at one time, right?
Wait, is that what they said? Because yeah, that's actually possible. I've had that happen.
Okay.
That actually is a typical thing. Pain management doctors will do either 3 months or 6 months. Now, someone like Candace, who is elderly and kind of has a sob story, she'll get away with more with doctors than like you or I going in looking to get some pain medication, even if we were banged up. Like, they're gonna look at us. Yeah. I've actually had doctors tell me, like, you're all tatted up, you can deal with pain. It's like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But someone like Candace with a knee replacement and all of that, they're gonna make her comfortable because she's elderly. She's got the knee problems. So, but yes, that is a thing where the doctor would have her come in. But then it's also a thing where you are susceptible to having your doctor's office call you and say, come in for a piss test. Sure, and you better have those meds in your system and no other meds.
Correct. Yep.
Or you could be flagged in the
Not
system.
even marijuana in a lot of states.
Nope. And I was in Minnesota and I was actually cut off of my pain agreement years ago because I had marijuana in my system. And they said you can't because it fucks with your breathing and stuff. But when you're going through doctors and my doctor had actually said, like, weed is good for you. But my pain management doctor at the time was like, you cannot have both.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's a confliction. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, WJ. Dawn told you what Summer was wearing when she went missing. Was it the same outfit? No, that's not okay. No. So I keep describing this. What I said to Dawn one day was, don't ever tell anyone what Summer actually went missing in. And he didn't say, oh, okay, well, it was this or that, right? Because no, that didn't happen. Why did I say that? Why did I say many things? Why did Benny say many things? When I say that to Dawn, Dawn's like, oh, she's protecting me. She's looking out for me. That's my friend. That's my ally. And, that's Benny and I wouldn't have been able to do the things we did. Benny wouldn't have been under that roof if he didn't think that that's his ally. So yeah, we had to do things. And I don't know what you want to call it, hazing almost. Like they put us through it to prove our loyalty to them as well. If we don't do that, we weren't going to get in there and talk to them. You've heard Candace say, you have to be good. If you want to be our friend, Cher, you have to act right. Like there was things you had to do and people you had to bash and tear down to prove you're their friend and it's crazy with them. And they're worried about all the wrong things. Like they're putting their time and effort in that, guys, instead of when in all that time, Benny, for the first 10 months, except for when we had a conversation with Dawn, and you probably remember the same conversation. Dude, you're not out there searching, and people see that.
Right.
You're on social media, and what did he go do like 6 hours later? He got caught searching for Summer.
Yep. Yeah, it's a strange dynamic because he definitely was sort of like a grown boy puppet. You know what I mean? Like the guy,
Mm-hmm.
you just, you could mention things to him, and now next thing you know, boom. Sort of like Candace with, like when we were talking, it was one of the last times we talked on my channel, and I had meant, I just walked her back. I told myself, I said, when we start talking about the timeline, I'm going to misspeak and I'm going to call it 4:30 instead of 5:30. And she accepted it. She walked it right back to 4:30. Well, we know that within reason, that's not correct, based upon the time that law enforcement called in. So it was like, but then other things come out and you're like, well, maybe it could be true. So, I don't actually have a firmer grasp on anything today or a year ago or 10 months ago, rather. That's why I had to take all the text from Jody Sue and lay them out chronologically. Have you seen that?
No, not yet. I will though.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I did is I took all of Jody Sue's text for the day, and between her and Voldemort, and I laid them out by time on a dot graph or whatever. And then I sort of laid in some of the other things that the Wells, some of the more verified, more more readily provable things that they did in the timeline as well. It's a very interesting dynamic. When you can look at it that way, you're like, wow, like it's a lot. And even what I have is not a complete. It's not all the way complete. Like I've still added to it, but you can feel free to pull it up. That's actual factual. And it hits completely different when you can look at it this way. You can see the gaps in Voldemort and JSB's communications. You can see the lack of any identifying of the scream. There's some real interesting dynamics also, like because
Thanks,
of the
sis. Sorry.
because of the interactions between Voldemort and JSB. One could assume that not even his children text him and said, "Hey, Dad, Summer's missing," because he's texting JSB like he has no knowledge of the scream or the fact that for a good at least 30 or 45 minutes, Jody Sue is texting with Voldemort and not mention that Candace is outside screaming like a crazy woman, for her child. So it is a very strange dynamic because one thing I'd like to know, you'll never know, but one thing I find interesting is I'd like to see the communications, if there were any, between Voldemort and the two children, right? I mean, if there was radio silence during the time that they're texting or that he's texting with Jody Sue, if they've not texted their dad, then you could say that when he's texting with Jody Sue, he organically doesn't know that Summer, there's an issue, a scream, this, that, and the third. But if they did have contact, then you got to say, well, why, if he knows what's going on with Summer, why is he not texting that he knows what's up with Summer over here with Jody in their communications? So it's very interesting when you lay it out.
Right.
Did you check your
think
text?
about that. No, I didn't even think about the kids in the him texting.
Yeah, and I mean, think about it. Like, you can look at the text and it gives you the availability to open up other avenues of thinking, and that's one of the avenues. So, because JSB and Voldemort, via the text that you're looking at, look like their relationship that day at least. She's sending red hearts. He seemed to be supplicative to her.
Yes.
Right? But so he didn't seem like the monster that day. So if he wasn't the monster to Jody Sue, chances are he probably wasn't the monster to his kids either. So with that being said, were the children, like, were they all as a family, all four of them texting, a woven tapestry together. But then when Voldemort's texting with Jodie, theoretically, you could say that their texts have to look a certain way if they're involved. Their texts have to look like he doesn't know when he's texting to Jodie Sue. So, that we'll never know unless that's a dynamic brought up in a trial that we have access to that information. But that's what they're making it look like. They're making it look like between Voldemort and his children, there was complete radio silence. But we know his two children both have devices, and we both know that they knew about the scream and that they heard about the screaming of Candace down below before he got there, right? So the other interesting dynamic, can you pull up the chart really quick? Is there
Oh, do you want? I didn't know if you wanted me to. Oh
No,
God.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
your work. I don't want to put it on here.
I
babe, come and look at this.
I would ask kindly that no one add to it without making some sort of like a signature, almost like, okay, this is Cher's edition, because if we start adding to it and it looks like I've added to it, I've not added anything to this other than this publicly. There's no alterations publicly to this yet.
No,
So if you want to make alterations, that's your business. But just try to make sure,
or make your own,
or make your own chart
and make your own chart. Because,
but when we pull the chart up, you're going to see some very interesting dynamics in the actual succession of delivery. So when you're looking at the chart, you're going to look from the 2:31 hour, the 2:31 mark, all the way, 2 o'clock to 5:31. You'll be able to see that the texts are very spread out. They go, 2 hours almost without talking. And then right at 6 o'clock or 6:02, they're texting 3 or 4 times on the minute to each other, like each person texting 2 times within a minute. So you're getting like 3 or 4 texts in rapid succession from each person. So, theoretically, with that change in the behavior of the text, that something is going on. Now, I don't know if that means that there was phone calls that they had. What did a phone call happen in these long lapses of communication, and that's why there was a lapse in text communications? Or was, theoretically, was Jodie Sue busy away from the phone at that time? You've got to deduce that. I don't know, but looking at it this way, you see from 2 o'clock to 5:30 or 5:20 rather, that it's a pretty organic, non-communicative day. Starting at 5:31, bam, it's like a machine gun, just automatic text, just it's pretty interesting to look at it that way. But also, and let me expound on that a little bit. When you think in terms of Voldemort not having that communication with his kids, you're not seeing Voldemort text Jodie Sue and say something to the effect of, well, hey, Booger, he just told me that there's something going on across the way, or, that Mini-Me just texted me and said that there's something going on across the hill. Like, there's literally none of that, right? So it looks like it's a regular day in their texts, except for the rapid succession of it, right? Like, the first batch of texts were way spread out. That second batch, like, they're texting on top of each other like crazy. So, he would text, she would take typically a long time to respond in the earlier part of the day. In the latter part of the day, well, let me step back. When she would text back, he would text her right back.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Then there was some time. Okay, I finally was able to.
There you go.
There we go.
Sweet.
Okay, is that good? Can you guys see it good? Okay. You got to get that black bar out of the way.
So you can see from 2 o'clock, I broke it down into 2 portions. So at 2 o'clock to 5:31, that's where you've got the big blocks of time where Jodie Sue isn't in contact. It looks like text contact with Voldemort, right? So you've got starting at 3:14 all the way till basically 4:52. You've got that whole span of time with Jody Sue only texting at 3:45 one time saying yeah. And then we've got the other things, matched in, like 3:09 was when the milk video came out. So 3:19 to 3:20 is approximately when they arrived on the hill. You've got the 4:30, 4:42 scream that's straight from her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Look at 4:52 all the way to 5:31, which is the end of the first bracket of the earlier part of the day. Got nothing. She's got, and this is the interesting part. You've actually got two sounds. So at 2:14, she's hearing a sound that's woke her up and she's going to see about it, right?
Mm.
At 4:30, there's a scream. Now, she doesn't ever talk about the noise at 2:14 that woke her up. She talks about the scream at 4:30, 4:42. We hear about it all over the internet, but not in her personal text. Nowhere it's not in there. So you've got these splotchy communications from 2 o'clock to 5:31. Now, from 5:31 to 6:02, you've got a gap. Picks, like he says, okay, soon, question mark. No answer from her. 6:02, he says, about to leave, what am I doing? Okay. That in itself, now that statement to me, you could look at it on one edge of the coin, that's him being supplicative. Like if he's a monster, he's probably not going to text her and say, I'm about to leave. What am I doing? Like I'm in this car, it's moving, but I don't know where it's going. You tell me. Like that doesn't sound like, to me, really the kind of verbiage a monster, whatever. So you go 6:02, but look at the rapid succession now. You've got 6:02 her, 6:02 him, 6:02 her, 6:02 him, 6:05 him, 6:05 her, 6:05 him, 6:05 her, 6:05 him, and then 6:09. But another interesting part is if you look at 6:05 him, the second him, he says, "Will text when past mom, so you ain't in the heat very long." At this point, she's already in the heat and she's already looking.
Yeah, that's what
Right?
she says.
By her verbiage, she's already outside. Now, he didn't text, did he? He says, I'll text you when I'm passing mom so you'll know and you're not in the heat very long. She walked down already. At 6:05, she said, I texted and said I'd be at the bottom in 20, but I went ahead and headed down early because all the screaming and shit. Right? He never texted back and said, hey, I'm passing mom's.
Right.
6:05, she says, okay, I'll see you soon. Gonna head down and mess with the flowers. She was already down there because at some point she says she had already ran into the Wells boys. What did she say? I caught them playing instead of searching.
Yeah,
so
that's what she says.
Unless she caught them between 6:05 and 7:03 when the police arrived. Like she was already down there, talked to Candace, been in the creek, all that shit.
Yeah.
When she's saying, I'll go down, or I don't want you to be in the heat very long. Well, she could have said at that point, I'm already down here. Summer's missing. They're screaming and hollering and looking for her. It's not there.
So we have
it's not there.
Around between 3 and 3:30, we got Candace and Candace and everyone planting flowers, which ends up being little tiny cactus. And then at 6:05, we got Jody Sue Brown also talking about fucking with her flowers.
Correct. But at 6:05, she's already down there. Well, or heading down there. But she's already been out in the heat. She already knows summer is gone at 6:05. She already knows. There's no way around it. Like they called the police when? The first call came in at 6:23. Second call, look in the green on the left, Second call, 6:26. She's put herself in about a 20-minute window for her to find the boys, have that conversation, get in the creek, up and out of the creek. Like, all the things Jody Sue says she had to do, and she had to do it between the time of 6:05 or 6:09 and 7:03. She had to have done it then. So all the things that Jody Sue says, she had to squeeze it in between 6:05 or 6:09, which is probably 6:05. I mean, if we're being exact, 6:05 to 7:03. She did all the things. Got in the creek, took her shoes off because, her Pat gave her the shoes. Got in the creek, had a meeting with the boys. Boys tell her, we just saw her a few minutes ago up by the swing, right?
Yeah.
Like, think of all the things Jody Sue did. Those things didn't transpire between 2 and 7:03. They transpired between around 6:05 and 7:03 p.m. Because all of Jody Sue's strange shit, it stops at 7:03 when the cops get there. It does. She only has she's got about 40 minutes to do the fuck shit. All the things happen in 40 minutes. So, I mean, and you've got the 6:09. Now, isn't it interesting? Now, I guess it come to find out it's actually not 6:09. It was 6:06, I guess, was Candace's Facebook post that she put up, but then subsequently deleted.
She deleted it quick, yeah, which has the boys, 2 of the boys in it, or all 3. 2 for sure that I can see, and then what I think is Summer's arm or somebody else's daughter's arm in a purple dress.
Well, that part I don't know. But what I find interesting is a lot of people have made the excuse, well, she probably or could have tried to send that picture and then moved out of service. Like, I don't know how long it takes, like, to send a picture out there, but I didn't have that problem. So they tried to make it seem like it was a picture that she tried to send, she lost service, and she popped back into service at around 6:06. It posted for her. And then I guess what would have had to have happened is she saw it posted some kind of way and then deleted it really quick. Well, unless she had her phone open, she wouldn't really actually even know when the picture hit the internet, right? But she'd be searching for her daughter. Why would she have
the
Facebook open? It makes no sense. So you had to have had the Facebook open in order to have deleted it.
Right. So are we putting Candace and Jody Sue Brown at the end of their driveways or outside around the same time?
I mean, she said at 6:05 in the purple, yeah, I'll be at bottom in 20. She said she went straight down. Took her about 3 minutes to get down there.
And Candace would have been outside looking for Summer because they didn't call LE until like
Screaming.
6:23, 6:29. So
Screaming.
she was searching for, she said, 15 minutes before. So that means Summer was gone. So around that time of them going missing, that means she and Candace would have been outside same time as Jody Sue.
Absolutely.
And then Summer goes missing.
Absolutely.
And then Jody Sue says Dawn and Baltimore pull up almost at the same time.
Look, DW arrived 7:05. AB's arrival
7:05.
7:03. He pulls up behind LE.
Yeah, I remember
Dawn
law
pulls up
enforcement
behind
got there
too, but
first.
Right. Andy actually pulls up basically right behind them.
Yep, I remember.
Dawn's a couple of minutes out.
Yep.
So when you see it this way, it's all different. Because let me tell you what, their text between Jody Sue and Andy, what's available to us, doesn't even start until the next day. So you have to remember, Andy pulls up at 7:03ish, pulls up to Jody Sue. What does he say? He says, I'm looking for Summer. She says he already knew. Donald called Andy and told Andy Summer's missing. So he pulls up. He's already been looking for her. That's what he says. She didn't have to say, Andy, Summer's gone. He pulled up and told her, I've been looking for Summer. That's what she says. So I don't know how long was he looking for her? I don't know. Did he start looking for her back at 5:30 or whenever they found out she was actually missing? Like, I don't know.
When Don said, when I pulled up
Yeah.
and I seen my neighbor out there, I knew she was gone.
Mm-hmm.
But he also said when he pulled down the hill and he saw his boys by the creek and Summer wasn't there, he said that's when he also knew she was gone for sure too. So it's like, you know, which thing did you see that day actually solidified it for you that your daughter was actually gone? Because you said like 3 different things made you believe she was actually gone. Like, I don't know, but he adopted an awful lot of what the mayor had to say. Like, he's all the time saying, well, the neighbor says this and the neighbor says that and the neighbor says this. Like, that's cute, Don, but like, what do you say? I mean, they had to build off of one cornerstone, Cher. They had to, like, somebody had a timeline that was concrete that fit everyone in theory. It fit them, and they don't want to deviate from it. They don't want to make any comments outside of other than, well, that's what the neighbor says. They don't want to give you what they think. They want to tell you what the neighbor says. Well, the neighbor, she's also adopting pieces and bits and parts of stories and people, theories that people, things she finds attractive. She's changing all the time. Yeah. So she too is adopting stuff from online.
Yeah, she is. It's kind of hard not to in this.
It is. It absolutely is.
Dudley said if he had to guess, she's somewhere between down back roads he takes to work. Yeah, I remember when he said that. Now, you guys, also, I want to point out while Benny's up here, because I'm pretty sure he will verify this. When you see creators who are doing interviews and having conversations with Andy, he'll text like people, but he won't like answer difficult questions without getting at least like $400 to $500.
Yeah, he told me very early on that he wanted I guess it was $400 or $500, and I told him, I was like, I would never pay you $400 or $500. I said I would pay you $200.
And I remember telling you, like, no, don't pay him anything, because if people should be speaking for free.
Absolutely.
There's a missing child. Yeah, I remember that. And I've been telling everyone, I'm like, that man does not speak for free. Because I saw the text messages, you guys, and I saw what he was demanding to speak with Benny. And it was ridiculous. And then I heard a couple other people, and he kept upping the price a couple $100, at least $100. But yeah, he wanted nothing less than $400 from Benny.
Correct. And I told him, I was like, there's no way I give it to you, because I didn't say it, but in my mind, I'm like, eventually you're going to come out for free. Right. Like, I mean, he's got a channel, and that Joker, like, he keeps messing around, like he'll be good to go. Like it'll turn into the Bernard Brown show.
He just went home. There was nothing done. He went home. People made a Facebook post, which in my opinion, allegedly, it was all staged. Because I know the conversations that was had with Don, and then, like I said, it was almost instantly someone made a Facebook post. Don was out searching for his daughter, and you can't tell me that shit wasn't staged. A lot of things that I told Don. Remember, like, I was talking to Don before the prayer vigil where they're holding the bear in the blanket, and it was probably, I don't know if you remember this, Benny, but it must have been like 2 or 3 days before that. I had sent him stuff about Maddie McCann, what the parents do when they're getting the press conference. Remember? And I was like, and she holds Maddie's doll and baby blanket. And what do? They're at the prayer vigil 48 hours later holding a bear in a blankie.
Yeah.
Like he absolutely was like, and people were like, well, why were you managing him like that? I wanted to see, was he going along with that? Because if I'm innocent, I don't have to have someone coach me on how to act.
Correct.
On how to be innocent. It's crazy.
And you don't have to adjust each time you make a public appearance. It's going to be the same behavior every time. Right?
It should be if you're innocent.
Yeah. That's right. So yeah, there definitely was some interesting dynamics. And now, essentially, Jody Sue's base architecture of her story, it starts with having had seen this man, at this garage sale a couple hollers over. Well, when you boil down and you get back to the start of all this thing, you'll see that the lady that actually had the garage sale, which I won't say her name, she made a post and laid out everything that she thought was going on with the red truck and the person. And it's essentially the same base bare bones that Jody Sue starts with. Well, we saw him in the area for, prior to this, and, I watch and this and that. And, and in my opinion, I believe Jody Sue adopted the base story of the garage sale lady and then expounded after that. I mean, she wanted a sketch. Why is Jody Sue she said she saw the man every day for 2 weeks and sometimes was only inches away from him at the bottom of her driveway. She says she even can identify his tattoos.
Oh my gosh.
So you now have 2 avenues of possible identification, Cher. All she has to do is identify some of the tattoos.
Jody Sue hates people too much for that to be true, by the way. She would have cussed him out or shook her broom at him or something. No.
Hey, Mr. Mark, but I mean, think about it. Like, she actually said she could identify some of the tattoos. So we know that the offender database, it's why they mark down scars, marks, tattoos, and birth, whatever. So you wouldn't even necessarily have to have a sketch artist. You could put in the tattoo in the database, in the location, and you could start looking at offenders' faces, and she claims to know what the person looks like. She wouldn't need a sketch artist if it were Don and Candace. She lives across the way. She could just say it was them. So for her to insinuate she needs a sketch artist means it's not Don or Candace.
Right.
So why is she not screaming every single day that she needs a sketch artist? Let me tell you, she actually tried to, but they wouldn't send one to her.
Yeah, because they're calling Jody Sue a liar, y'all. They're saying what she's saying is unfounded. That's saying a liar.
That's the first thing that was unfounded, was the need for the sketch artist. The same thing she tells us about wanting the sketch artist in the beginning is the same thing she told the police. Why did the police not send her the fucking top-notch sketch artist of all time? And we could have been done with this shit in the first week. Why did they not send her one? Because they don't believe her. That's why.
Exactly. They definitely don't believe her. What does Don wanting to talk to your dad about? Only bits and pieces. Didn't get really what he was getting at. Carrie, I am...
In my opinion, he just wanted to talk to your dad in order to try to manipulate you. If he could manipulate your dad, he thought with some penitentiary talk, please, man, you got to tell Cher, man, she's got to do that. Like, to me, that's what that was about.
It also makes me nervous because we know what my dad's done time for. So why they were both so concerned right before the arrest to talk to him.
Yeah, like what do you need to talk to a man with them kind of charges for? Like, what can he tell you?
Right. And I do think a big part of it, and I don't know, Benny, tell me what you think, because you've witnessed a lot of it. And I think Mr. Cher agrees. But I always felt like, I don't know what it was about like, I don't know if Don saw me as a victim or something. He wanted me to get back in my dad's life. So I mean, I honestly, I can say something good come from talking to Don, because I wouldn't have thought about talking to my dad ever. Like, I would have went the rest of my life never having a relationship with him, to be honest. But this case got me like, okay, well, what the heck? And I'm trying to be like, would Summer want to talk to her dad? So I still feel like Summer would still want to talk to her parents one day, like, call me crazy. But anyway, I just don't like what he was saying. But I think that he almost like wanted to power trip my dad. Like I'm the one who got Cher to talk to you. Does that make sense?
Correct.
Like totally like it's because of me. Like, yeah, I think he
it was nothing but a manipulative motive.
Yeah.
Why it was nothing else. It's let me talk to the one that can press your buttons. Don couldn't press your buttons, so let me try to manipulate your dad and have him press the buttons, and maybe he can turn Cher off for a while.
You should. That's for sure what he wanted, because he told my dad, like, your daughter. He almost was like ratting me out to my dad. It was the weirdest thing. He wanted my dad to shut me up. That's what he wanted. 100%. I believe that he wanted my dad to shut me up. There was some kind of code he wanted my dad to follow and shut his daughter up. And yeah, absolutely.
Like a penitentiary code. And this the thing, like this ain't that and that ain't this, like they're different things. Like this is completely different. Like, and furthermore, like I don't think your old man would stick to no code with no dude like Don. Like that's your dad and that dude is different. Like your dad would prey on people like Don in prison.
Yeah.
He would. Like your dad would do something bad to Don in prison in real life. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, he would not be. No, he would not be having that. Well, you heard. I don't know if you heard. My dad said, I didn't want to tell my dad a lot. Like I just wanted to give my dad, and we would pull up things and like read them. I didn't want to. My dad was literally fresh eyes, ears, the freshest like thing. I just wanted his honest opinion on what was going on, and I didn't tell him a lot of things. I didn't like it's pretty obvious how I feel, but I also didn't try to press that much on him because I just wanted to know, what did my dad think at first? And at first, a lot of you guys saw he was kind of on their side, felt horrible for them. But then I remember when my dad found out he'd done what he did to his stepsisters, and my dad privately, I remember we were being live one time, and then we talked privately like after I ended the show, and he goes, "Baby girl, I wish you would have told me about that before ever putting me on the phone with that man." And I was like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't even think about it."
It's a code.
Yeah, he was like, "I did not want to talk to that man. Like, I wish I would have had a warning." Yeah, and I didn't. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry."
In the penitentiary, your daddy would do. Like your daddy did something bad to men that were bad men anyways, right?
Men, yeah.
Yeah, so you got to know in the penitentiary, your daddy was going to fire Don up any chance he could get on site.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll never forget that. He was pissed. He was like, I wish you would have told me before ever put me on the phone. Because my dad said he would honestly never have had a conversation with Don if he knew that about his stepsisters. Even if whether it's true or not, just knowing the stepsisters said that, he was like, I never would have given him my time.
Just the way your dad knows the code, though, Don knows the code too.
Mm-hmm.
So he was, trying to get around some politics, really, in my opinion.
Jailhouse politics, yeah.
He was trying to get around some politics.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know you have family stuff tonight, and I've kept you like double the time we talked about, but I sure appreciate you, and we gotta panel up more because I think this was a very good night.
I do too. Like we definitely have a chemistry, and I feel like we get, we get it down range. Like we get, what the target is. Like we handle that, and so I'm definitely down for any of that anytime. You too, Mr. Mark. You especially.
I don't know where he went, but he was talking, we gotta get the beards having coffee one morning. So next weekend or something.
I'm down.
Coffee with the beards.
All
right.
All right.
Definitely more to talk to you. I might be blowing you up tomorrow because I've got some Courtney Struble stuff I want to ask you about too.
Absolutely.
So, hit me up tomorrow whenever you're free so we can talk privately.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Of course, you're always welcome. Love you.
Love you too. God bless.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right, y'all. Thank you. I think it was mostly okay in the chat. I was trying to watch, but mods, thank you for tonight. Sorry I didn't say hello to everyone coming in. Justice for All. I don't know if Lip Lock was in here. Bullhorn Betty, Kiko, Princess, Fizzle, Bad Girl, Mamita, Joe Popswick, Squids, all my awesome mods. I love you guys. Okay, now I am going to do a mod meeting tomorrow because I forgot to address something at the mod meeting. So maybe not tomorrow. I don't know, but probably Monday then. Tomorrow, Monday. Hey, Killer, Mr. and Mrs. C. I miss all the good people because we're like when we get a flow, I I have to be, or I'm a space cadet sometimes, right? So that's why I'm not trying to be rude, but yeah, when there's a float going, I like to focus on that because we get good stuff. Now, remember what Benny said? I encourage people to make their own charts like Benny had made. And he said you guys can share it around, but if you add things to it, make it known that's your added thing, or don't add things is what he would prefer. And I agree, because I actually found this chart pretty helpful tonight. So I would say if you care about the case, go ahead. And if you've been following it for the year, make a chart of your own like Benny did. I'd love to see everyone's charts. That'd be actually interesting to see. So anyways, I'll let you guys go to the rest of your evening, and we will see you. Mr. Cher is having coffee in the morning, where the mods are all welcome to grab their coffee and come on up and talk any of the cases that you guys are into that we cover in the community, or whatever's on your heart. Even new cases, all welcome on Mr. Shares. It's all set up, and it's going to be for his mods, and members are welcome to join him tomorrow. We can fit like 10 people on the panel. So yeah, that'll be interesting. And then I'm not sure if I'll be live tomorrow or not, but for sure on Monday. So thanks again, Benny. And thank you, my mods. You are awesome. And all my members, thank you for being a part of the Crazy Train. Choo choo. Love y'all. See you tomorrow. And thank you for all the super chats, by the way. I'm sorry I didn't say thank you for all of them. Again, we were on the flow, but thank you. They are appreciated. Much love, guys. Bye.